Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about how making a meaning can actually change the course of your life. Now, that seems like a big claim, and I'm going to prove to you that it's actually true. Now, first of all, what does making a meaning mean? What it means is interpreting someone else's behavior without clarifying with them what they intended by it. So, you just interpreting someone else's behavior and making a meaning out of that. So, the first example I'm going to use today is some years ago, a lady, let's call her Maxine, started dropping her child to school, brand new kindergarten student. And there was another mother there called Stella who seemed to welcome her. She had an older child, another year, and suggested that she do reading groups. And she felt very supported and welcomed. A few days later, Maxine had passed Stella at the traffic lights, and Stella had walked right past her and ignored her. Now, Maxine immediately thought, well, she doesn't like me. I've done something wrong. What could I have done to have upset her? Is there something that, she decided to think back to her behavior and her actions in the last few days. So that in itself may not have caused her to make much of a meaning of it. She was upset. But a second thing happened a couple of days later. Maxine was in the playground, and a third mother, say her name is Claire for this exercise, had come up to Maxine and said that Stella had sent a message to a group message to some mums accidentally and had mentioned Maxine in there. Now, it was never clarified what was actually said, but Maxine had deduced that definitely Stella did not like her. She couldn't figure out for the life of her what she had done, and therefore she started to behave differently. This changed the course of the next few years. She didn't have the courage to speak to Stella about what might have happened if there was a misinterpretation. And there were even a few days that Stella walked past her and said hello, but Maxine was well into the groove of ignoring her now. Some years went past, and their children happened to be in an activity together, and Stella just sort of spoke to Maxine and said, oh, how is it going? How is your child settling in? And are you interested in doing this particular activity? Maxine was absolutely flabbergasted. She understood then, she didn't actually talk about it, she understood then that she had misinterpreted something that possibly could have been nothing to do with her, or had never clarified the message. And when she came to speak to me, she wanted to work on that. She wanted to say, I have ruined years of schooling, friendship, making, networking with other mums that Stella was friends with because I thought that she didn't like me. So where in the past have you made a meaning out of something? And another example I have is a friend of mine. He's very courageous with his outfits, let's say. And one day he was wearing this beautiful new outfit. He was feeling a bit self-conscious, and he'd walked past. I was actually there this day, so this is a good example to give you. He walked past some school children, and they were laughing about something completely different. And as he walked past them and towards me, I heard them laughing and interpreted that as them actually teasing him and his outfit. So his whole demeanor changed. He felt really upset, and he immediately said, I don't think I should have been wearing this today. I don't feel really confident in it. So fortunately, because I was there, I was able to say that that's not what the children meant. And in fact, it's not about you at all. Now, what do we do with this information, and how do we stop it from changing the course of our life? Well, first, you can have an honest conversation if you care about what that person thinks of you anyway. I would actually encourage you to not really give that power to other people anyway. But if you wanted to clear the air, have a conversation. The second thing is whether or not you think they don't like you, and whether you think they do like you, you're right both ways. So if you're still seeking external approval and it's important to you, to make a meaning out of not being clarified, then why not make a meaning that's empowering? Okay. An empowering meaning, by the way, is not he was jealous of me or she was jealous of me. Focus on your own spiritual practice, which is, sending out love, being happy, practicing kindness, all the things that you want to become, your character that you want to develop. And whatever information you see, like whatever you get outside coming in, is just information. It doesn't necessarily mean anything about you in particular. Okay, so again, make the choice. Is it a positive interpretation? Is it a negative interpretation? And just choose to go one way. Why don't you practice that for a few days? It's pretty good.